Hello everyone and welcome back to Stutter'D Podcast where we talk all things anime. My name is Juan.
And I'm on ASMR, baby. Here we go.
I love it. How are y'all doing today? We're doing great.
We're doing fantastic.
I'm down. I'm super excited for today's. Hello everyone and welcome back to Stutter'D Podcast where we talk all things anime. My name is Juan.
And I'm Monty.
And we hope you enjoyed that little segment, the little ASMR segment.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do it
great.
more.
Yeah.
Probably not.
It was good stuff, dude. Yeah. It got me all like hyped up and stuff. You know what
That's
I mean?
besides the point.
That is besides the point.
Wow. Do we have an episode for you today? Monty, please take it away because you have been waiting for this episode
For so long.
for the longest time.
And I'm so glad that you finally watched it. So
I don't know why it took so much convincing for me to watch this anime. It was fantastic.
I told you
You did.
like 100 times. I'm like, Juan,
100 times.
Watch it. No,
Not
okay,
even
yeah,
joking.
wait. Yes.
It
I'm
was
not
probably
kidding.
100 times that you told me to watch this. But before we get into all that, this is a mature
Advised,
anime.
yes, please. Yeah.
Viewer discretion is advised.
It is a very
because it
dark
has a
show.
lot of very dark moments that could be triggering for some people.
Yes, very.
But the good with the bad, this
Yeah.
is a fantastic anime.
Amazing, yeah, amazing. So today we are going to be talking about the one and only Berserk.
Berserk.
I'm so excited. Berserk.
Which they gave us no context clues on why they called it Berserk.
Yes, exactly.
I'm still confused.
Yeah. So am I. Yeah. I mean, as much as I freaking love it, I'm like, I still don't get why it's called Berserk.
I know our friend told
Yeah.
us about like some sort of armor or something like that. No. Okay, they didn't tell us about it in the 1997 adaptation, which is what we're talking about today.
Yeah. And not
So
the
it doesn't exist to us. It
other
doesn't
one-
exist to these people that just watch this.
Well, with all due respect here, I have seen, the 2016 show, and I've seen all the films and stuff. So I know,
the
like,
triangle.
so I know like why. It's called that, but for him, he doesn't know.
I don't.
He doesn't know, and that's fair.
I just watched
Yeah.
this 1997 series.
Yeah,
and
that's
that's what
fair.
we're going to be talking about.
That's fair,
No
yeah.
films, no 2016 adaptation, just the 1997 adaptation of Berserk.
The
Guts,
crown jewel.
The Dark Knight. Eren Yeager.
Eren Yeager,
Yeager.
but we're not here to talk about him or
Who would win in a
Attack on-
fight, Eren Yeager or Berserk?
that's very tough.
In
though.
Titan form. In Titan form, Berserk
Can
versus
you
Guts.
imagine Guts in his Titan form? Oh man, it would be game over. Aaron, I am so sorry, but he would be like chopped up in half,
I think Guts would just
Guts,
chop
like,
Eren.
because he has like
in
so
half.
much like a freaking like he's angry, he has so much rage or whatever. So
And it's deserved. His
yes.
anger and emotion is very well deserved. We learned that later on.
Yes, later on, but
Jumping ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. We are totally jumping ahead of ourselves, but
Monty,
anyways, go ahead.
paint the wonderful picture of episode 1 of Berserk.
So this very grim and dark tale starts off with our main hero Guts as he is walking into a bar / tavern, and
What's a tavern?
A tavern is basically it's a bar, like essentially. So and that's why I said tavern / bar.
It's two different things for sure. Yeah,
Exactly,
I get it.
I mean, a tavern is like basically like a in the like modern like age, it's like a
Yeah, people don't say let's
it's
go
a club
to the
or
bar.
whatever, yeah.
Let's go to the
or
tavern.
club or whatever, let's go to the club. But anyway, so
Continue. Sorry.
Guts, he walks into a tavern and basically he sees a whole group of thugs giving a girl a very hard time, and all that stuff.
The grandpa.
The
grandpa was like,
yeah.
"Get your hands off of her."
hands off her.
Had no chance with them.
Yeah, like freaking.
Come on, guys.
just freaking poor guy.
grandpa.
Yeah, dude. It's an old man here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they, they start, like giving him a hard time, but our main hero just cuts that off real quick.
Real quick, let me take this over, please. Guts is like, pew, 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 pew. And then
With his arrows.
With his huge sword, man.
It is a gigantic sword.
I love how they did subtle little hints on how this story is going to play out. Because you don't know how Guts gets his, bow arm or his big sword or his, one eye.
He has a single eye.
It's insane how they completely foreshadowed, because this is the first episode is set in the future. 3 to 4 years.
It's
whatever
confusing
it may
at first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, this is all
before that, then the actual season starts. That kind of tells the tale of Guts getting to this point where he's in this tavern.
Exactly.
But they throw this almost a scavenger hunt of things that you can find.
Exactly. Yes.
And kind of, this happened at the end. Now, because I went back and rewatched the first episode, and all of it made sense, because even one of the tavern people say things have been horrible ever since Griffith. At this point, you don't know who Griffith is.
Yes. And you're just like, who?
Griffith became king. And I was like,
who is that guy?
Yeah, but
who is Griffith?
Looking back at it now,
it just makes total sense. Now you're like, oh my God. You're like,
you would have known Griffith would have became king.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So,
and there's a certain point where you don't think he's gonna reach his dream.
His goal. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's what this entire thing is about. His goal, his dream. Griffith this, Griffith that. What about Guts?
It's all about
What about Casca?
It's all about Griffith,
man.
You know what I mean? And not about Guts or Casca, or anybody else. It's just, it's just me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
so the first episode is a little bit confusing, because you're introduced to these characters that are kind of insignificant for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
The snake guy that Guts ends up beating. It's just very weird and confusing. Moving on from that, you sort of get into the main point of this entire journey, where, Guts is just fighting people to fight people.
Yeah.
And, he catches the eye of the Band of the Hawks while he's on his journey by himself. And that's kind of when they decide to, rob him.
And they're like, he looks very interesting, so we are going to, test him.
Because he collected that bounty. And it was it was a bad idea by them on their part.
It was a bad idea, yeah,
because,
for sure.
They try to do it and do him dirty, my boy Guts, and then they're getting destroyed. Then Griffith is chilling out, maxing and relaxing, all cool and all, shooting some b-ball.
Is that a freaking Fresh Prince of Bel-Air fucking reference?
And
oh
so
my
he
God.
sends Casca. Casca isn't doing too great with Guts. No, even though she's one of the commanders of the Band of the Hawks.
Yeah. She's second
in command.
In command. And she is good.
Real good.
At the start, but very quickly, she is just. Over freaking whelmed, and then here comes Griffith. He just hey,
he locks
back
onto
up,
Guts.
back up.
Yeah.
He's like, I got this, okay. And so she goes over there, and then here comes Griffith and him and Guts, freaking fight it out.
Yeah, and he decides he wants Guts on his,
and it is very weird. It is
so
very
sus.
weird. I'm like, okay, it's kind of, but
how does he do it, Monty? What does he say? What does he say to Guts?
Well, after their fight or their duel, hearsay, he basically grabs his face and turns it towards him, and Griffith says, "You belong to me now. You are mine." and you are a part of the band of the Hawks now. And it was like so weird.
You know,
I was like,
go ahead.
red flag, dude. I was like,
show me how he did it though.
He just like takes
with me.
He takes it. Oh, with you? Okay, all right, guys. Okay. 4 freaking warned. Okay, so he just takes his head and just points it towards him and says, "You are mine now. You belong to me." And it was
his face was closer though.
Yeah, but
do it. Go ahead and retry it.
I'm not getting that far. I'm not getting that that freaking close. But it was intense though, man. Like
it was crazy intense.
And I was like, he is,
he's serious about this.
like freaking dead serious about it. I was like, all right, well then here we go. And so basically that kicks off the journey or this story of the band of the Hawks, and basically how it all goes.
Yeah, because
stuff like that.
Obviously now at this point you see them taking jobs as mercenaries,
easy jobs too. You know what I mean? It's
and then we finally get to like episode 6,
yes,
or 5, whichever one it was, where like,
yeah,
this is where that mature content comes in.
Yeah,
my boy Griffith is bathing, dude.
Yeah,
and then he calls Guts to his quarters.
He calls Guts to his quarters, and he walks down there, and basically he sees Griffith
in the nude,
taking a bath naked, and basically they just start having a conversation, where
does that lead though?
And that leads to them splashing water on each other while he's nude. He's all quit it, dude. And I was like, oh my god,
we should do a podcast like that.
I'm not I'm not mad,
I was not mad at that.
Okay, yeah, but
muy caliente.
Yeah, but me and you should definitely do that. Just be like, oh my god, like you're so good.
How many views do you think that would get?
Dude, like hundreds of views, 100%. I think. But anyway, so
moving on. They start taking these mercenary jobs, and it leads them to that castle where they finally meet one of the main villains of the arc.
Yeah.
Zod. Which is, what do they call him?
Also known as Nosferatu Zod.
And what does that stand for?
The Immortal Zod.
The Immortal. Wow.
And this guy is strong. And this guy is huge. He's hulking, and he looks freaking terrifying.
And Guts was holding him off, dude.
Yeah.
He was holding him off.
He was a mortal man, just like holding him off,
Until Griffith ran in there and, kind of like try to save the day. And
hold
then
on,
obviously
Guts,
he was like,
I'll save you. Yeah. I'll save you all. Then whack. And then, right when Zod was about to kill Guts and Griffith, he sees a item that is hanging from Griffith's neck, and it is a necklace. And
it's called the Bailet.
Yes.
I had to.
And it's called
I was excited. I wanted to say it.
And it's called the Bailet. And basically, he freaks out. He's like, oh boy.
Also known as the Egg of the King.
Yes.
Remember that. Yes. That's important. The Egg of the King, I think.
Yes. The Egg of the Crimson King.
The Crimson King. I don't know what that means, but the Egg of the King.
And basically, it's a key. It is a key to unlock something, and that is important down the road, but how he got it was from a fortune teller as a child. So
destined for greatness, apparently.
Destined for greatness,
or for his dreams to come true.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And they came true.
yeah, for sure. And in the most horrible way possible, but we're totally
whatever it takes, I guess.
Saving that for the way. Come on, dude. That's not...
The mercenary group known as the Band of the Hawk are definitely gaining some traction in the kingdom.
Absolutely,
in the war, because they're getting hired, left and right by the king. They're getting some accreditation for what they're doing,
and he's loving it too, man. He's oh my god, the king, is always calling on them.
Yeah.
For like,
and I don't blame them because they don't have
they never lost.
They've never lost is the thing. And so with all that success and recognition, obviously there's going to be people with eyes on you, and that's when the assassination on Griffith kind of happened. It failed. And then that leads into what I think is a turning point in Guts's journey.
In his life.
In his life.
Yeah.
In journey. Because after that, Griffith asked him to do something kind of unspeakable,
Yeah.
He asked him to kill someone for him. In the name of him, basically.
And
it was crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. So basically, he asks Guts to assassinate someone who is planning on killing him as well. So basically, Guts, he basically kills him. The assassin, he kills him and
kind of goes wrong though.
But and as he is leaving his room, he is like caught off guard by the assassin's son, who just showed up at the wrong place at the wrong time, and pretty much Guts, he
went berserk.
He killed him.
He went berserk. He had to. He had to.
And it's sad,
Unfortunately.
But and but again, very, very, it's dark stuff here.
It's tough to watch sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But that kind of shows how brainwashed everyone was by Griffith.
Oh, he had control of everyone. Good.
He is so good.
He was so good.
He manipulated as in like, do this if you want, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
But I want you to.
But you don't have to do it.
But you don't have to. Yeah, it was so crazy, and he did it, and that led to the scene where Griffith and Charlotte are at the fountain, and then
they're talking,
and Guts pulls up with Casca, and he basically says, "Hey man, screw everyone else. I have no friends,
and I have
equals,
and I have no equal other than one person that I know." And that is Guts, and that just blew my mind. Like,
absolutely
I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude. I'm like, and that moment right there, that is when we see a turning point in the journey, of Guts.
Yeah, for sure. And then obviously, moments led up to where Guts was 1v100 men. Wow.
Dude, that was insane.
Okay, that was insane.
Dude, it was so cool, man.
I was on my feet screaming, dude.
He took on 100 soldiers.
All for Casca after that battle that they fell into the river. For Casca could get away.
Yes.
And that's very noble of him.
Such a man, dude.
He is after seeing everything that they've been through, he was willing to do that.
A gentleman,
and
for sure.
It was very brave of him. And obviously we all know how that turned out. Guts destroyed 100 men. And that was kind of his legacy. Everyone brought it up. That's the man that took on 100 soldiers by himself. Blah, 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 blah. Insane.
Yeah. So anyways, basically he's healed up at camp, and then him and Casca, talk underneath a tree that is hooking the like camper or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I remember this.
Yeah.
This is a very sweet moment. That's kind of where he breaks the news that he wants to leave the Band of the Hawks.
And he is like, hey, I appreciate, like everything that, that you and, and the band of, the Hawk have offered me, but, I think, it is time for me to leave and to forge, my own, my journey.
Yeah.
And just not follow.
Yeah.
His.
Yeah, this is where he kind of
vows
to. This is where he kind of vows to never swing his sword for another man's dream.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is very understanding, because Guts wants to do his own thing at this point.
And I get that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it too. And then, this kind of leads into Guts and Casca's relationship to
it's so
viewer discretion is advised.
It's so
wow.
wholesome.
It's beautiful. I loved every second of it. It's kind of it's the only thing that gave you hope in this series, because you could just tell they had that chemistry together.
Yeah.
And you really wanted it to happen, and then it finally did.
Yes.
And then
it's
something you can't forget about.
Yeah.
Because I want to remember it and hold it.
With
me forever.
Yeah. It finally happened, and this is probably the only happy time, or the happier moment in the show.
Yeah, in both of their lives.
Because
it was probably the happiest moments in their lives.
Because after this, it just goes.
Man,
it just goes downhill,
dude. It went 0 to 100 in seconds.
Yes.
Jesus.
But man, so basically, him and Casca are together. Finally, I was like, yay.
Yeah, but at this point, Griffith is having his own little fling with Charlotte.
Yeah,
and then they get caught. Which is very forbidden, He is not part of the royal family or anything, royalty, I guess you would say.
And this, and this was due to him losing a duel, with him and Guts on the hilltop, and basically
sending him in a spiral.
he lost. Griffith lost, and right after that, he just broke, he just lost it.
Yeah, he definitely lost his right hand man, and it's absolutely insane to think back to his eyes during that duel, because during it, Guts was completely calm, nothing like he was the first time, where he was angry, just swinging.
And swinging the
this
swords.
time, it was Guts that was calm. In one swing,
he was in control, and just with one swing of the sword, his sword basically broke or whatever.
And Griffith even mentions that he's calm. There's a calmness to him, and he did it. And after that, Griffith went off the deep end and then went to Charlotte's room, had a little fun, and then tried to escape, and then he got surrounded, unfortunately. And he was missing his sword because of that duel.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't defend himself. And that kind of led to the point where he was in the chamber.
Yeah, where he was pretty much, getting tortured
nonstop
for a year.
Yeah.
He was, it was bad. He was getting, tortured so badly. But, it was kind of, his fault.
It was his fault.
You know what I mean? So, so I don't feel, too bad. But, at
Well, you
the
kind of
same
feel
time,
bad at
yeah.
the same. You kind of
Yeah.
feel bad because at this point he hasn't done really anything wrong. He was
Nothing wrong.
He was
Yeah,
trying to
you know.
console into someone,
Yeah, but anyways, yeah.
and it just didn't work out for him.
No.
He got surrounded, got taken in the chamber, like you said, tortured, and then like it just all spiraled for him at that moment. And then Guts, vowed to come help them save Griffith. Kind of restore the Band of the Hawks that Casca had kind of taken over at this point.
Exactly, yeah.
And they got down there, obviously we see them in that week stay, and
it's just a horrible freaking scene, man. Like,
it was
it's just
horrible.
Bad.
Very
he was
symbolic.
Skinny, yeah.
Yeah, it was very symbolic,
skinny,
though.
and he like had on, that helmet.
The helmet.
Oh my gosh.
The Hawk.
He was just like so like skinny, and he looked bad.
Yeah, for sure. And they go down there, save him.
They get out,
and that's kind of when things start turning, and just he takes the wagon for whatever reason. He sees Casca and Guts having a moment. He can't live to see Guts happy.
And you can just see like in his eyes, that he is just like, he's just,
he is in a jealous rage. That's
jealousy,
mad. He is just
that's
a mad
all it is.
person.
Yeah, he was just jealous, and then that's when he takes the wagon and just leaves, and they're like, holy crap,
he's in the river or whatever.
Yeah, he's in the river.
The egg of the king floats back to him for some reason.
Somehow,
I don't know why.
Somehow, yeah.
Shockingly.
And this is where it gets like super dark, guys. So just a heads up,
The eclipse
is
when everything absolutely gets destroyed for everyone. The Band of the Hawks, back at the campsite, even the people that didn't go try to save Griffith, it got destroyed by demons,
Yeah. And they're just like hideous, like grotesque, like demons.
Horrible.
Oh my god, it's so
It's
creepy.
horrible.
Yeah, it's so creepy.
And then they get transported to, basically what is hell on Earth.
Yes.
Hell the eclipse.
Yeah, the eclipse.
And at this point, you're kind of introduced to all these king demons and all these other demons.
Yeah. And then you see the first appearance of the God Hand, and there is here's this giant hand, that just comes out, of the ground, and so far there's only 4 of them, and so
Interesting.
and
I didn't know that.
and they look pretty freaking terrifying. I was like, oh my gosh, and then I'm like, this is not good. And so the whole band of the Hawk, it is just,
they're sacrificed.
They are basically sacrificed, and it's just so terrible.
Man. And then you get to that point where he's incubating in that egg, and then they're all getting slaughtered. Casca gets caught. Guts is fighting his way through it somehow, and then you get to that point where
to save Casca.
Yeah.
To save Casca.
To save Casca, he does. And you get to that point where Griffith is basically reborn. So at this point, the Band of the Hawk are getting sacrificed, and Guts is fighting his way through this somehow. Doesn't have a sword or anything.
Yeah. And the God Hand, it has given every single person a brand, and it's called the brand of sacrifice.
So is that basically like where no matter where they go, they're branded by this and they can find them?
Yes, exactly.
Interesting.
Yes, very, very. So no matter where they go, they will always be, like followed by, these horrible like creatures and stuff like that.
Interesting. See, I didn't know that. Yeah. And so at this point, Griffith is reborn into whatever the heck he is, and Casca's captured. And back to that.
Yeah.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Yeah, and he is reborn as a femto. is his name.
A femto?
Femto.
I didn't know that.
And basically he and he has like all of these like powers and stuff like that, and then basically he goes to where Guts is at, and he's like shocked or whatever, and he's like, is that you, man? You know what I mean? And then we see Casca getting lowered down towards
Horrible.
Femto, and seriously, this is probably the most like traumatizing thing that
Of this entire season or series. It's
yes,
just bad.
yeah.
And so at this point, you get to where Guts loses his arm by the demon
and
his eye.
He's being like held down.
It all makes sense now.
And it all, yeah.
Yeah, trying to get to Casca, understandably.
Yeah.
And, Griffith is just dead set on, Guts.
And
it's heartbreaking, unfortunately.
It's very sad.
And, oh, man, you just wish Guts had his big blade and
you
was able to do something.
Yeah.
It's just tough.
Yeah, and you are just, and you feel like, and you feel for him too.
You really do.
You are just as like mad and just angry, and also like, like sad and like heartbroken, because these are two, because these are, two people in his life that he cared about so much,
very deeply,
and for him to see that like happen like to them, it just makes it even sadder,
even
and like
tougher, dude. Man, it is.
It was tough, man. It was very, very, very tough to watch.
So at this point, you're not really left with too much more because the 1997 adaptation of Berserk doesn't really go into depth with this stuff. So that was Berserk.
That was Berserk, man. I'm so glad, man.
Finally did the episode.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. So this has been Stutter'D Podcast, where we talk all things anime. My name is Swan.
And I'm Ani.
We hope you did enjoy.
See ya.
Nice.